Buildings are under fire. Under? Is that the best word? I think it should be on. That's a little bit of prepare to exams, that, isn't it? I think. Let's have a little look at what it does. So students with spare time can use the study hall to do their homework, projects, or prepare to exams. That doesn't make sense. Buildings are under... I mean, technically it is under the fire. It's not wrong, but it's not something you hear too often. I think on fire is the technical term. Let's see what happens. Come out. Please tell me he's holding a hose. That looks a little bit sus. What is he holding to extinguish that fire? Hello people, and welcome to New Home Medieval Village. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. This is a new medieval city builder that has just been sent into my inbox on early access. It is out on January 14th, and it is apparently a little bit of City Skylines mixed with Banished, with some splashes of Anno 1800 in there as well. So we'll check it out together and see what we think, shall we? Let's go for a new game. And we can configure our new game here. Let's come up with the village name. We'll go for the four times Palaven, as we are in the medieval era. So we can choose our starting difficulty. We'll go for medium as it's our first time. You can also select the starting season. So I'm hoping this might tie into some winter themed gameplay, like kind of crops and stuff are harder to grow in the winter, but we'll start in spring. We then also have map selection. With only 3 maps available at the minute, let's grab medium, that should be okay. And then choose a save slot, and then we can start. So that wasn't a cut. Like, how ridiculously quickly does this game load? Like, just boom, straight away, it's in. But here we go, welcome to New Home Medieval Village, everyone. So we can have a fly around the map. We are stuck in this isometric view, we cannot pan up and down, only zoom in and out. Which is a little bit annoying. I do like to kind of spin around, but you know, not every game has that, so you have to kind of live with it, I guess. But here's our interface. We have resources up at the top, which we'll cover. We have money, population count, and then population details. We also have a mini-map down here as well, where we can jump around on the map. That's quite helpful. Lots of demographic information, an economy tab where we can set tax rates. Again, people familiar with cities and Anno will know how this all plays out. Our resource management screen, where it breaks down everything we have, alongside the quality of it as well. Some coverage, heat maps including education, water, fire, health and police. As our zoning demands, road buildings and a building menu itself. Plus our little control speeds here, which can be controlled with 1, 2 and 3, which is always appreciated when a dev does that, right? And then our time and our date as well, and the hour too. Okay, so let's build a road. I have very briefly played about an hour of this game, so I kind of got the basics down and we'll kind of discuss it together, okay? So it's just a point and drag system with the road network, and you can also hold shift and click to add in multiple curve points onto the road as well, which is quite cool. So a pretty interesting way of drawing out the roads, but we're just going to join this main road for right now. And then we'll jump into a dock, see if we can get this placed along this main road here. There we go, wonderful. So what the dock is going to do is actually allow ships to arrive at the village, which will bring people and resources, which is good. So we'll have that in there. And we also want to build a hostel for them as well, so they have somewhere to stay once they arrive. Which they will eventually move into houses, but once they are here for the first time, they will need this building here, which is a little hostel, which is slightly clipping into the ground, which is fine. Okay, it's early access. So this is a really small team. I think it's two brothers, and this is like their first venture into the video games kind of sphere. And we'll see how it pans out for them today. And here's our first ship, okay? So the ship is going to arrive at the dock, and with it, it's going to bring resources and villagers. So we can have a little look at the resources here. So these are all the resources we have available, of course, represented up in the top right here as well. So we can buy all of them for 2,196, which is what I'm going to do. So that just gives us a stockpile, and we'll, of course, eventually start to produce our own here as well. So we now have zoning demands, so we can come in and see that our house demands, we have poor houses 8 required, and then our commercial demand, we have demand for poor commercial zoning and agriculture zoning as well. So let's start placing down some of these poorer houses, shall we? Why don't we bring them up this main street in and around the hostel? So we'll place 5 of these. You do pay for your zonings in this game. There we go, that's 5, right? That should be okay. We had 8. Let's go for some more. And just a quick side note here as well. The soundtrack for this game is banging. Like, it's so good. I'll leave some clips up of just the soundtrack when we edit the video here today. I always appreciate good soundtrack design, and they've nailed it here. They really have nailed it. Let's start bringing out some different roads here. Let's see what we can do with kind of different junctions and angles, and yeah, so it just kind of merges in together like that. Okay. It'd be nice to have some different path textures down the road as well. And also something I'm not hugely fond of is the way that I would like this to be kind of an animation, like where the little house gets built. Having it get 3D printed is a little bit immersion breaking. Having it turn like bright orange, maybe that's just me being super picky, but just a little wooden animation would be nice here. This is 3D printing isn't very medieval, I guess is the take home point, right? Is what I'm trying to say. So these guys want water as well, so we will give them a well. That's gonna supply our water radius here. That's going to be fine. And then we also have agriculture as well, so let's have a look at bringing in some of those first farms as well. Let's go for maybe over here as farming. Let's take this road out, and then we'll go. So I really like the way the fields are drawn out. You draw the width and then just stretch it out. That is a great way to do farming in a game like this. I really appreciate that. So we click on the farm, and we can, of course, rename it if we want to. You can edit your farms, gives you a construction date. The capacity, I'm not sure what that's referring to. Capacity of what, people? I'm sure that would be employees. Maybe it's the crop itself. And current crop vegetables, we can change the crop that we grow. So we have grain, veg, and and spice as well. So we can grow our own spices. That is game of the year, everyone. And the texture does the texture does change as well, which is always appreciated, right? So that's pretty cool. You can kind of get some nice repeated field and farm patterns going down. All very medieval looking, right? So we just had the ship come in again. We don't really need to buy another batch of resources. We've still got plenty. So we should be okay in that regard. Taking a look at our economy tab, we are currently making a daily profit of -74, which isn't great. So why don't we start messing with some of these tax sliders? Let's bring up agriculture and poor housing. Okay, and we have one poor commercial demand here as well. So I'm going to place this commercial zoning up and against the waterfront. So annoyingly, it doesn't seem as though I can delete the trees without placing zoning on them, which is a little bit irritating. Maybe the lumberjack can do that, we'll see. Because they're kind of just in the way here, so we'll just see how that pans out, alright? So let's come back into our build menu, and as we scroll down, we have some production buildings here. So tailor will produce clothes, woodcutter obviously timber or firewood, and then seller will produce drinks as well. So we've got some ways to produce buildings up here too. So why don't we add a tailor onto the main street somewhere if we can? Maybe up and over here. There we go. So you see how it takes the tree with it when it does that? And then maybe we can bring the road down here. Allow for another one of our main resource buildings to sit here. How about the cellar? sit on the corner. And then I guess it would make sense for the woodcutter to kind of be out here. So I'll bring a curve in, right? Play with that curve tool for a little bit. And then we'll grab that woodcutter as well. You can also see there's some kind of emergency service buildings here as well. Here we go. So most sims arriving, all in synchronized walk straight into the hostel. So we can click on the building, which gives you a breakdown of the people inside it. So if you're really into kind of the demographical information of simulation games like this, you're probably going to enjoy this. You're getting breakdowns of happiness, health, education, safety. So you can click into this and check their age and their birthday, whether or not they're married, how many family members they have, where they are, where they work. So if you're into this kind of stuff, kind of the back-end data and all the figures and the numbers, you're probably going to enjoy New Home quite a bit. But let's continue to increase these little residential zonings, because we do have demand for them. But it's a nice looking game, isn't it? Especially for early access too. And considering this is like a 2-man development team, it's a really pretty game, and there's certainly a foundation for them to work off here, I think, as well. Look at that lighting on the water too with the sunrise. That's really nice. I like that. Alright. A little bit of sunrise spice. So the early game really, we have this up here which says, you know, at the next level we unlock the school. And we also get a log of everything here, including coins spent and, you know, villagers moved in, so you can track all of the villages' activity as it actually grows. Let's have a look at our economy again. Yeah, we are still slightly losing money, but we've got enough of a buffer to survive until we can get more taxpayers. Which, speak of the devils, here they come. They're arriving now, okay? Yeah, there we go. So we just want to keep these low income, poor housings coming in. The game also has a building editor as well, kind of like City's asset editor. So you can make your own parks and change the buildings and stuff and change the way they look. That's really cool for an early access game to have something like that. So big props for that. So you can kind of come into the buildings and change how they look as well, which is nice. Okay, so clicking on one of the resource buildings, we're producing average quality. I'm not quite sure how we get that to high quality. Not sure. Poor quality is a possibility. See, we produced poor quality and then all of a sudden... Okay, so average quality seems to have started to appear once we had employed someone. So I guess Ian McGee is capable of making average quality clothing. Okay, that's fine then. So maybe he's like a professional tailor, right? So that's why it's gone up in quality. Who knows? So the ships are pretty frequent. And again, we're pretty high up in everything here. So we can actually sell our resources back to the ship too. So we can see that we're making a ton of veg. So why don't we start selling a little bit of surplus veg off? So we can sell that for 273. Likewise with all these resources too. Like our veg is actually decent quality now. I'm guessing that's because of the farm, right? Yeah, decent quality. So we'll go from average to decent quality. Again, was it a similar thing that happened here? So it was average quality and then we employed 4 people and it went to decent quality. Okay. So you can kind of see how it works, right? It's all about supply and demand and growth and exponential expansion, etc. All kind of vibes and themes that we're familiar with these kind of games over the years. Let's bring our road out. I'm not quite sure how we feel about the map sizes. I guess this is a fairly significant size, right? And this is only medium as well, to be fair. Like, this isn't even the largest map size here. So why don't we start bringing out some further roads. So if you hold Alt there, you can get a little kind of outline of the actual road network itself, which is quite handy. So I'm just going to be assuming if we do run out of resources, what happens? Is it a case of just the people start to die? Do we get any kind of penalty? Does anything bad actually happen? I guess I'll have to kind of wait and see, right? We do have demand for more water over here, so let's place another well on the corner to start supplying this side of things. So here's our lumberjack as well. He should be producing average quality wood now as well, which is good. So I'm not really sure. It doesn't kind of say, you know, what is firewood being used for. outside of the blindingly obvious. But like, is it actually being used by the villagers to keep homes warm? And if so, is there any kind of warmth meter or comfort meter that the firewood affects, or is it literally just a number that we're keeping track of? Let's kind of explore the game mechanics here together and see what we think. So we've got a little more commercial demand, so I'm going to satisfy this yet again with another little field. And then we'll change this one here. Let's go for some spice. Let's start growing out some spices, which looks like a little bit like candy floss. So we are finally making a profit now. Those little tax adjustments that we've made have sorted us out. So it doesn't take too long to get into the green, or blue in this case, I guess. So with the economy now, how much are we making? We're making 96 daily profit, so we can afford to place one of the utility buildings down now. Fire station, library's 80. An educational building with a small coverage. I think we should probably go for fire station, right? It seems like it would be one of the more important buildings. Let's place this up and over here, okay? Kind of make a little square around our fields. And we do see people working the fields as well. I like that. That's nice. Right? It's the simple things. But look at these now, huge big boy demands. So we're getting lots of agriculture, lots of poor commercial. Let's start adding this down. Let's go for 6 of these. Line them up facing the fields. And then let's also satisfy a little bit of that commercial demand using some agriculture too. Can I do it this way, I wonder? Yeah, okay. Let's turn this into a little bit of a farm square then. A bit of a farm town centre, if you will. Alright. Wonderful. Okay, so let's carry on coming out with these. Is that not connected? Actually, doesn't look like it is. Okay, let's see if we can reword this ever so slightly. Do you need to be relocated? Let's grab the woodcutter again. Oh, he is 600. Yes, and buying the fire station caused me to fall into debt in it. So let's delete the fire station. There we go. Now we're in profit. It's like City Skylines, right? I always run out of money. So it's just a case of actually letting the game sit on 3 speed for a little bit. So we don't have any of these other tax incomes available at the minute, so there's no point raising them. I mean, is there any negative effect to raising it higher? Is it just going to affect the demand? Does it affect their happiness? And you know what happens if they get too unhappy? Are they going to rebel, or do they just stay unhappy? So we're absolutely farming the life out of veg. You can see in our stockpile counts in the top right here just how much veg is shooting ahead. So I guess we'll make this one green, right? So it's cool that we have kind of 3 separate farm skins here, and each of the skins are actually corresponding to another resource. I think that's quite cool. I do like that. It's not just an aesthetic change. Let's sell some more of our resources. Again, we've got incredibly high quality vegetables. I'm not sure what would qualify as a high quality vegetable. Maybe extra curvy potatoes or something. Okay, so let's sell 1,000 veg. That's going to help fund the economy a little bit more, which we are now making 240 a day. So I can afford my fire station now. Yes, 120. Okay. So hopefully we'll see a fire station once I can afford to place the thing. And we have 2,000. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, so that's going to drain my money and keep us in the green by about 100, which is wonderful. There is one kind of observation that of a town of 79 people, it doesn't seem that alive. I guess there's some people around here. Deborah Hepburn is a poor female at 41 years old with married and 2 kids. That's not really ideal, is it? And then same with Mark as well. Mark is married with 3 kids. My condolences, Mark. He's living in this poor house as well. It's not ideal, is it? Okay. So all just about keeping up with these demands, watching your progress level as we're about to hit level 3 in the before 4 times Palaven. So we'll get a larger hostel, which is going to hold more people than the regular hostel. Not that I've really had an issue with this getting full anyway, because we've been pretty much matching the commercial demands. But I guess if you don't have the money to zone up the residential area, then having them in the hostel is not a particularly bad thing. Do we want to buy any resources? probably do with some more meat because we don't really have that much. Yeah, so we'll buy all their meat. How do we make meat? I'm guessing some kind of animal farm. Do we have that here? No. No, not yet. Is it a type of zoning maybe? Not entirely sure how we produce meat. You would imagine from slaughtering animals, but how exactly we do that in the game is yet to be explained. So I think I'll keep all the poor housing over here, okay? Kind of make this a little bit of a grimmer district, and once we start to get some demands for these higher end residentials, I will hopefully see some people. And there we go, that's what I want, right? I want the town to feel alive. Speak of the devil. Then they all come out. I'm guessing they're all going to their jobs. So you work at workplace 2. Yeah, and she's going in there now. Okay, let me get a breakdown of everyone working in this building. So there's lots of information, lots of kind of demographics and pie charts. If you're into this, the whole data side of the simulation, then you're probably going to get a kick out of a new home. I'm sure you will. Bring some more housing over here as well. Had to create a little bit of a sprawling village complex if we can. And then how about we get into some detail? And alright, let's see what we can do. I did notice that we can place in our own trees here, so how about where we have the space where we can't fit anything in, we'll just come through with a big forest. This is the extent of the detail and options that we have here. How do we feel? Buildings are under fire. Under? Is that the best word? I think it should be on. That's a little bit of prepare to exams, that, isn't it? I think. Buildings are under... I mean, technically it is under the fire. It's not wrong, but it's not something you hear too often. I think on fire is the technical term. Let's see what happens. Come out. Please tell me he's holding a hose. That looks a little bit sus. What is he holding to extinguish that fire? And he's done. There he goes. Let's not question the methods of the local firemen. Everyone is safe, and that's all that matters anyway. Alright. Let's place in another water well. Welcome to new home, everyone. So he's just going to head back to his little firehouse. Yes, he is. There he goes. Okay. Be interesting to see what happens once we get some crime, because we don't currently have a police station in at the minute. Okay. These zonings are getting built out here now as well. I'm just really interested to see what triggers the need for average, decent and wealthy housing. Hopefully we'll get there. I think if you guys do enjoy this video and want to see more, we'll more than likely do it on a live stream. Then make more videos. That's if you guys want to see it. If not, then you'll never see it again. Okay. Alright. There we go. It's growing up now. Everyone's happy. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, likes, comments and shares below really help me out. Equally as much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Do let me know what you think of this game. It's certainly interesting and quite a blend of 3 distinct games that jump into my mind at least. This is only a really small dev team. I think it's 2 brothers, and props to them. They have a solid foundation here. It is out early access January 14th. It does have a fair way to go if it wants to rub shoulders with any of the bigger boys. It's not as good a builder as Cities Skylines. It's not quite as fleshed out with its art style and resource systems like Banished. And it doesn't quite nail the time period as well as Anno. For a small dev team, at a very first attempt, there is some really nice ideas here. Love the inclusion of the building editor. Love the way that the farms work. I would definitely include some more detailing options, maybe some fences and rocks and trees and stuff to kind of customize the medieval look a little bit more. But it is early access, so maybe it'll come. But otherwise, we can hang out on this game on a live stream midweek if you guys want to see more of it. If not, you'll never see it again. And a huge thanks to the dev team for giving me early access as well. I really appreciate that, and good luck with your launch on the 14th. Hope it all goes well. I will also leave the Steam page link down below if you guys want to go and add this to your wish list too, then you can do that. Otherwise, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.